What's going on, everyone? So tomorrow, the Los Angeles Lakers take on the Sacramento Kings in Sacramento. What that is beyond, obviously, a tough game against Sacramento in Sacktown, which is always tough to beat, like the light, the beam, all that stuff. We have the first of a back-to-back. After we play Sacramento on Sunday, we immediately go back to LA at home to play the Orlando Magic. Now, Orlando, they've looked good so far to start the season. They're 2-0. They have the potential to beat us. Sacramento, again, very good team, excellent at home. I know that they just lost to the Warriors at home, but that makes it even more challenging because Sacramento's not going to want to lose back-to-back home games. So it's going to be very difficult. It's going to be very interesting. Lakers right now are 1-1. They've had a little bit of struggles through the first two games. To me, it's been mostly just them not hitting shots. You got to imagine their offense is going to kick in at some point, but that's been a big issue, them not hitting shots. And we've had to rely heavily on LeBron James specifically, which is a big problem. And we've also had to rely on Anthony Davis. Now, Anthony Davis was better in the Suns game than he was in the Denver game. That wasn't the problem in the first half of the Denver game, but the second half, he ended up giving us a big old goose egg. Can't have that happen. But beyond that, LeBron James is on a minute restriction. Now, they did say, forget the minute restriction, let's go win this game in the Suns game. But you got to imagine that that's still something that they kind of have in the back of their mind, and they're going to want to kind of keep him on restriction as much as possible. So what I want to talk about, which I have a concern with, and we're going to find out. Now, at least at the time of recording this video, there's no news about this, but I imagine we're going to find out one way or another pretty soon. And what that is are the Lakers going to rest either of these guys on a back-to-back? Now, you might be thinking, it's the first back-to-back. It's the first, it's so early in the season. Why would you do that? Again, LeBron is on minute restriction, and last season, Anthony Davis didn't play back-to-back. See, he played like the first one or two of the season, and then after that, that was it, right? And they might be looking at it as like, hey, we want to keep them on that restriction. We don't want them playing the back-to-backs, especially early on. Now, there is the argument of like, well, if you were ever going to play them on a back-to-back, it's this one because it's so early in the season. Literally, it's your third and fourth game of the season. So LeBron and AD are never going to be more fresh and more healthy than they are right now. So right now is the best time for that. And I completely get that. I completely understand that. But it is definitely a question, and it's one that I want to hear your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below, so let me know. Also, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, turn on bell notifications, and yes, so now on the positive side, right, let's look at this a specific way here for a moment, right? Let's say you do sit LeBron and AD for the Orlando game. Right? Let's say you play them for the Sac game because you're playing them in Sacramento. That's going to be the tougher game. Play them in Sacktown, right? Orlando, I think, is still going to be tough, but you're at home, right? Whatnot, right? So you play LeBron and AD for the Orlando game. Maybe you just play AD for the Kings game, and then maybe you play LeBron for the Orlando game. That's another option. But let's say you play both of them for the Sac game, and then you sit them both for the Orlando game, right? That may end up working in your favor. And here's what I mean, right? So the whole idea is the Lakers built this depth, this talent, and this roster specifically for LeBron James and Anthony Davis. One, to be able to allow LeBron to be on a minute restriction and get some rest, and also to allow LeBron James and Anthony Davis to have nights off. Now, also one thing to clarify, because I'm sure somebody in the comment section is going to be like, hey, you can't sit LeBron James and Anthony Davis because of the new resting rule. Well, LeBron James is exempt from that rule, so you can. So Lakers can sit both of them if they want to. Again, will they? I don't know. We will see. Time will tell. But back on track is the bench and just everybody, period, not named LeBron James and Anthony Davis, have really struggled, and they have struggled mightily. And we've had to rely so heavily on LeBron James and Anthony Davis. If you remove LeBron James and Anthony Davis, well, guess what? Now it's sink or swim. So now the Lakers have no choice but to step up and hopefully start playing better. Otherwise, you're going to get blown out. And even if they do get blown out, the hope is that at least a couple of the guys get out of their slump, right? So let's say collectively they're terrible, right? Like, let's say they're still struggling. But let's say Austin Reeves gets back to being Austin Reeves, and he starts getting back into his rhythm, and he starts cooking. Let's say like D'Lo and Rui and those guys continue to struggle, but Christian Wood starts getting back to being that guy, right? And Christian Wood goes and gives you 20 and 10, and he's starting to feel good about himself, and everything's cooking, right? Well, now you got two more guys that have picked it up, and hopefully that's the thing to kind of get them reawakened for when LeBron and AD come back. Just a thought. Sitting LeBron and AD could be the thing that gets everybody, out of their slumps. Because again, like I said, it's sink or swim. You kind of have no choice at that point. It's either A, we go out there and we perform because we don't have LeBron James to fall back on. We don't have Anthony Davis to rely on. So we just basically got rid of 50 points a game, not to mention defense and rebounding and playmaking and everything that those two guys provide. But the whole point of this roster was to allow that to happen. Well, guess what? Now Christian Wood is going to have to step up. Now Jackson Hayes is going to have to step up. Now Rui Hachimura is going to have to step up. Austin Reeves, D'Angelo Russell. And maybe, just maybe, that will get everybody cooking. And if everyone starts cooking, then we get LeBron and AD back, and then LeBron can go on his minute restriction. And then, Anthony Davis can knock down a couple minutes a game and doesn't have to play 34 to 36 minutes a game. And we can kind of get the ship right like it was supposed to get ready for the NBA season. Sometimes you have to remove that handicap, right? Like you kind of get that extra little, like, here you go, right? You got LeBron, and you can always man, we're struggling, but don't worry, LeBron can turn it on and give us the heroics, right? LeBron James is LeBron James. He can close down the stretch. Don't worry. Anthony Davis can go give you a 30 and 15. Here we go. Anthony Davis is cooking. LeBron James and Anthony Davis just took over. We're winning the game, right? You remove that from the equation, and now you force these NBA players who are competitive and don't want to lose and are looking at it as like, hey, wait a minute, we can still win without these guys. It forces them to now have to step up and play the game that they can play. I don't hate that idea, right? And I get if you were ever going to play them on a back-to-back, it's this one. My guess is that they do play them this one. I do genuinely believe that they play LeBron James and Anthony Davis back-to-back in this Sac and Orlando game. Because again, it's so early in the season. Why wouldn't you? But I don't hate the idea of play them both against Sacramento, remove them from the equation against Orlando. Or at worst, maybe sit LeBron for the Sac game, right? So maybe you play AD on the back-to-back, but you sit LeBron. So now this team doesn't have LeBron to rely on, right? It's like, well, now we don't have LeBron to bail us out. Or you sit LeBron for the Orlando game, maybe play everybody for the Sac game, sit LeBron for the Orlando game. And it's like, okay, well, we don't have LeBron to bail us out, so time to get it in gear. Time to start hitting some shots. Time to start kind of awakening here a little bit. Hopefully hopefully, I mean, they don't need that. Everybody plays in the sack game and guys start picking it up. But like if I'm Darvin Ham and the Lakers are still struggling against Sacramento, whether we win or lose, like let's say we're struggling and we win, right? But guys still aren't hitting shots and we're relying solely on LeBron James and Anthony Davis to basically go give us, 60 points a game. It's something I'd consider, right? Like, because again, if you were ever going to try to like do something like that to kind of light a fire, it would be the fourth game of the season. Right? You don't want to do that in the middle of the season. But right now, it's like, okay, like if you were ever going to do it, like do it now. So it's like, okay, well, let's sit LeBron, let's sit AD, or let's just sit LeBron and we can play AD. And now everybody's got to get it in gear and go do what they got to do. Just a thought. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion, so I pass the question on to you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? How do you feel? Do you think that they'll sit them and rest them? Do you think, no, they can't, it's too early? Do you think, do you like the idea of like, hey, yeah, you know what? Like sit LeBron at least and force these guys to have to step up? Again, whatever your thoughts are, I'd love to hear it. Let me know down in the comments below. Again, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me out a lot. Lets me know you enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. If you're not subscribed to the channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on bell notifications. See you all in the next one. Thank you.